Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'd like to demystify the Chopin Fantasie-Impromptu somewhat by showing you that if you can understand 3 against 4 and 2 against 3, you're halfway there to learning the piece, because it happens so many times. I added them up, and there's 120 times you get a 3 against 4, and then you get the middle section. Well, you get a chromatic scale, and then you get the D flat major section in the middle, which is very calm and relaxing and beautiful. But it has its own problems with its 2 against 3s. There's 16 of those, and then you get a 7 against 6 in there as well, and several 3 against 4s in that section as well. And then it returns to the beginning part with 120 of the 3 against 4s, and then 32 more of them. So that's the part that's difficult about this piece. And so each bar, if you take it in 4/4 time, each quarter is one of those 3 against 4s. So 4 quarters in a bar. So you got 4 of those. So now, a teacher that I had, Josh Wright, told me a little trick to saying, "Come, Tom, me, jump to me." And when you can put that rhythm to it, it simplifies it. But you can't just say, "Come, Tom, me, jump to me." You have to say it with that rhythm. Come, Tom, me, jump to me. And when you do it like that, you're putting the emphasis like on each of the 16ths. Come, Tom, jump to me. And when you do that, the triplet notes fit in perfectly. So the only trouble is that Chopin writes for some of them a 16th rest at the start as the first of those 4 16ths. So what it really, you can just play that note twice, and then it makes it perfectly straight 3 against 4. Come, Tommy, jump to me. 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 Come. And so on. It goes through the whole thing. I've copied it out. There's, I think, 13 pages here, just so that I've got it on large print, so it's easy to follow, because you don't want to be struggling with what the notes are when it's got its own difficulties as well. So I'll just play through some of it, and you'll hear all those 3 against 4s, and 4 times in each bar, and it'll make it a lot simpler for you to understand, even if you just play the piece slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come, Tommy, jump to me. 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 That's 1 bar. Second bar. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Come, Tommy, jump to me. That's the second bar now. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Come, Tommy, jump to me. To keep that clear. That's my first page. And then here, the accent is on your thumb. So the melodies. And then it goes up to there. And then changes. Instead of on the accent on the first of the 4 16ths, he puts it on the second. So that's this page. Now, in the left, it's just straight triplets. But that changes to an F sharp, you see. To do a lot of playing it hand separate and getting it smooth that way before you can put it together, but it has to be more than just mishmash and like a mix master putting it all together. You want to do that separate phrase, come Tommy jump to me, for everyone. So and just get the accents, thumb accent. So come Tommy jump to me, come Tommy jump to me, come Tommy jump to me, come Tommy jump to me. That's one bar. So if you feel the rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's where it changes, and Chopin puts the accent on the second of 4/16, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So together. That is an F sharp. It's so much easier to just put the pedal down and let it fly, but then you can risk not being accurate. But you do have to do a lot of hand separate practice to the beat, and then everything will fit together because you'll hear both voices at the same time, both hands at the same time. Now here he removes the accent in the right, but he puts one in on the first and the third of the left. So see, it's not, it's this is, you have to get the accent on the low one, because there's, so. Builds it up. And you have to get that A in there. Come Tommy jump, come Tommy jump to me, come Tommy jump to me, and then come Tommy jump to me, come Tommy jump to me. And then I'll do that line again. And there's nothing 2 against 3, it's just straight quarters. Starts risante heavily, and then it gets quieter. So it builds a crescendo up to there as heaviness, and then poco diminuendo, gradually getting quieter. Then it's moderato, contabilizo. Some people do this. It's 3/16 on that note and 1 on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Whereas it's 3 against 4. Come, Tommy, jump. Come, Tommy, jump to me. That way you won't cut your D flat too short, because this is at 0, this is at 0. So it's 0%, 33 1/3, 66 2/3, and then 1. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So they play together on the 0, and this plays on 75%. So 0, 33 1/3, 66 1/3, 2/3, 75, 1. When you can put those percentages, you don't cut that note short. But that's 2 against 3. So this is just... Gotta get quieter. So you just roll that upper arm forward. After you swing down in the wrist, you just, and then as you roll it forward and lift the wrist, you brush the, as quietly as you want. Just now here's your 7 against 6. So the right is just the tiniest shade faster than the left. So a lot of repeat in there. Just repeats just like at the beginning. So you basically want to get, when you can hear that smoothly, and you want to get this. It's just a little faster than the other hand. And he puts one pedal for the whole thing. So you can think of leaves swirling in the wind, and you don't want to just shape it at the end. And it's all repeat straight through till the finish. And that finish is a little tricky, because after you get this cue, it's not an F in there, it's an E. So you got to have that break in the chromatic line. And then that's really not hard, that part. And then the trick is here. You have to swing right down through and pull up in the wrist as the upper arm rolls forward, and you'll get the full drop power of the potential, the kinetic energy of that upper arm rolling into it. So then and then the last page, the last two lines of the last page. What's hard there is it's not an octave, it's a tenth. It's way down to the... Just brush the notes. So I hope that takes some of the mystery out of the piece for you. Because it can be rather daunting and overwhelming. But when you break it down like that, the next step is to do uneven practice hands separately, so that each part can be counted to the quarter and flowing at its own sequence of notes with the correct lengths. And then when you put it together, it just works, because the notes that come on the beat are dead together in the two hands. And so as long as you're playing dead together, like as long as you're going together, 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 you can't sort of, that won't work. Thumbs together, and then without stopping. You got to hear every note. And you got to be together on the F sharps. I'm missing. So you see, it needs a lot of practice, but that's how you do it. That's the foundation for how you can build this piece up into something quite beautiful. Anyway, I hope that gives you some ideas and you're not discouraged by all of this, but it is worth working on. Hope you enjoy it. Take care. Happy practicing.